But now it seems on some social media channels to have taken a darker turn, a more...
We have now about 17% of our players born outside the United States, so we're kind of globalizing our player population.
Did you know Caitlin Clark received 17% of all flagrant fouls in the WNBA this season? That's one player out of hundreds. Something's not right here, and it's got fans questioning Cathy Engelbert's leadership. What's really going on behind the scenes? Let's talk about Cathy Engelbert for a sec. She's the WNBA commissioner, and fans aren't happy. Imagine this. You've got the biggest star in the league, and she's getting roughed up more than anyone else. That's not just bad luck, folks. It's making people wonder if there's more to the story.
Absolutely lived up to expectations, exceeded them much. Yeah, and you mentioned all the revenue drivers. We also signed a historic media deal since...
You know what's crazier? We're about to uncover how Engelbert's decisions might be hurting Clark and the whole WNBA. It's like watching your favorite team make all the wrong moves. But this isn't just about one player or one team. This could change everything for women's basketball. Are you ready to see what's really happening? You'd think breaking 62 records would make you untouchable, right? Not for Caitlin Clark. Her rookie season was historic, but it also exposed a darker side of the WNBA. What happens when the league's new face becomes its most vulnerable player? Let's talk about Clark's first year in the pros. This girl was on fire. She wasn't just good, she was rewriting the record books. 62 records broken in one season? That's not just rookie of the year material, that's legend status right there. Clark wasn't just playing the game, she was changing it. Fans were going wild, ratings were soaring, and it seemed like the WNBA had found its golden ticket. But here's where things get weird. While Clark was lighting up the scoreboard, she was also racking up some stats that nobody wants. Remember that 17% of flagrant fouls we talked about earlier? That's not just a random number. That's Clark getting knocked around like a pinball in a machine. One player out of an entire league taking almost a fifth of the hardest hit.
We do sit at this intersection of culture and sport and fashion as kind of cultural icons.
True.
And when you have that, you have a lot of attention on you. There's no more apathy. Everybody cares. And so we have that moment with these two. But the one thing I know about sports, you need rivalry. That's what makes people watch.
Something's not adding up here. And it's not just the flagrant fouls. The officiating around Clark was like watching a game of make it up as you go along. 1 minute she's driving to the hoop, the next she's picking herself up off the floor with no whistle. It's like the refs forgot their rule books every time Clark stepped on the court. Now you might be thinking, hey, that's just part of the game, right? But here's the kicker. This isn't just about Clark having a rough rookie year. This is about a pattern that's starting to look less like bad luck and more like bad management. Think about it. You've got the hottest new star in the league, someone who's bringing in fans and making headlines. And instead of protecting her, instead of showcasing her talent, she's getting beat up on the court with no consequences. It's like the WNBA decided to use Clark as a punching bag instead of a poster child. And that's where things get really interesting, because if this is happening to Clark, the golden goose of the WNBA, what's going on with other players? Is this a Clark problem, or is it a symptom of something much bigger and much worse in how the league is run? It's starting to look like Clark's struggles aren't just about one player having a tough time. They're shining a spotlight on some serious issues in how the WNBA is managed. We're talking about a league that seems more interested in creating drama than protecting its stars. And that's not just bad for Clark, it's bad for every player on the court.
These rookies have put on quite a season, and it's not just Caitlin and Angel, Rickea Jackson and other rookies are killing it this year.
And every fan in the stands. So the league's creating drama, huh? Well, here's a plot twist for you. What if I told you that Caitlin Clark's rookie season schedule looked more like a Survivor Challenge than a professional sports league? We're talking 11 games in 20 days. That's not just tough, that's downright dangerous. Let's dive into Cathy Engelbert's playbook for a second. You know how coaches are always talking about strategy? Well, Engelbert's got a strategy all right, but it's not about winning games. It's about winning ratings. And guess what? It's the players who are losing. Imagine this. You're Caitlin Clark, the hottest new star in the WNBA. You're breaking records left and right. Fans are going wild, and the league should be rolling out the red carpet for you. Instead, they're rolling out a schedule that would make even seasoned pros break a sweat. 11 games in 20 days. That's not a schedule. That's a marathon with basketballs. But wait, it gets worse. While Engelbert's busy chasing those sweet, sweet TV ratings, guess who's left to fend for themselves? The players. And we're not just talking about being tired or sore. We're talking about real safety concerns. Some players are even hiring their own security because they're getting threats and harassment. Can you believe that? These women are out there putting on a show, and they can't even feel safe doing it. Now you might be thinking, surely the league's got their back, right? Wrong. Engelbert's leadership is under fire for basically leaving the players to deal with these safety issues on their own. It's like sending soldiers into battle without armor and saying, good luck out there. there. And here's the real kick. All this drama, all these rivalries Engelbert's trying to cook up, sure, they might get some eyeballs on screens in the short term, but at what cost? We're talking about the long-term health of the league here. And more importantly, we're talking about the health and safety of the stars who make the WNBA what it is. Think about it. If you're a young girl dreaming of playing in the WNBA and you see how the league's treating its biggest star, what message does that send? It's like Engelbert's playing chess, but she's using the players as pawns. And let me tell you, that's not a game anyone wants to play. So here we are, with a commissioner who seems more interested in creating compelling content than in protecting the very people who make that content possible. It's like running a race and tripping your own runners just to make it more exciting for the spectators. Sure, people might watch, but how long before there's no one left willing to run? You know what's really wild? This isn't just about Caitlin Clark anymore. This is about every single player in the WNBA. It's about the future of women's basketball. Because if this is how the league treats its rising star, its golden goose, then what hope is there for everyone else? Now, you might be thinking, surely the league knows how to celebrate its biggest stars. Think again. The way Caitlin Clark found out about her Rookie of the Year award is going to make you question everything you thought you knew about how professional sports leagues operate. Picture this. Caitlin Clark, the most electrifying player to hit the WNBA in years, just won Rookie of the Year. You'd expect confetti, cameras, maybe even a surprise party with her teammates, right? Nope. Clark got a phone call. That's it. Just a quick ring from WNBA Commissioner Cathy Engelbert to say, hey, congrats. It's like getting a text from your boss that you got promoted instead of a proper meeting. Talk about dropping the ball. This isn't how other leagues do it. Can you imagine LeBron or Steph Curry finding out they won MVP through a phone call? No way. They get the red carpet treatment, press conferences, the whole 9 yards. But for the WNBA's brightest new star, phone call that probably lasted less time than a shot clock violation. And fans, they're not having it. Social media blew up with people asking what the heck was going on. Where were the cameras? Where was the celebration? It's like the league forgot they had a superstar on their hands. But wait, it gets worse. The playoffs roll around and you'd think the WNBA would be plastering Caitlin Clark's face everywhere, right? She's the rookie sensation, the one everyone's talking about. But nope, it's like she vanished into thin air. Fans were losing their minds, wondering why the league's hottest player was nowhere to be seen in the marketing. It's like the WNBA had a golden ticket and decided to use it as a coaster. Fans were all over social media asking the big questions. Where's Caitlin? Why isn't she in any of the ads? It's like the league looked at their most exciting player and said, nah, we're good. And you know what happens when you ignore your star players? Your ratings take a nosedive. As soon as Clark's team, the Indiana Fever, got knocked out of the playoffs, boom, TV ratings plummeted faster than a rejected shot. It's like the league forgot that star power isn't just about who's on the court, it's about who people tune in to see. This isn't just a Caitlin Clark problem. This is a WNBA problem. It's like they're playing checkers while every other league is playing chess. They've got this incredible talent, someone who's bringing new eyes to the game, and instead of shouting it from the rooftops, they're whispering it through a phone call. And here's the real kicker. It's not just the players who are getting the short end of the stick. It's the fans. It's the future of the league. When you've got a player who's breaking records left and right, who's got people excited about women's basketball in a way we haven't seen in years, and you treat her like she's just another name on the roster, that's how you lose fans. That's how you kill the buzz. All right, let's talk about the mess the WNBA's in right now. We've got players getting beat up on the court, refs who can't seem to call a fair game, and marketing that's about as effective as a screen door on a submarine. And who's at the center of it all? Cathy Engelbert. Fans are yelling from the rooftops that it's time for a change. They want someone who actually cares about keeping players safe and making sure the game's played fair. It's not rocket science, folks. If you're fired up about this, don't just sit there. Get on social media, sign those petitions, make some noise. The WNBA needs to hear us loud and clear. Here's the deal. The future of women's basketball is in our hands. It's time to step up and demand better for our players and our league. Are you in?